Hey guys, welcome to the channel and another video. Today I'm going to be watching The Exorcist by William Friedkin. I'm familiar with Friedkin's work. I know he made a fantastic film called The French Connection that I've yet to watch, but I don't believe I've seen any of his films. This was by far the most requested film to watch on the channel and also the winner of my first Patreon poll. About The Exorcist, when I was 8 or 9 years old, I witnessed the head twisting scene while it was running on TV, and I've actively avoided the film till today. All I know about The Exorcist is there's an exorcism being performed on a young girl. I barely even remember the scary movie parody of it since it's been a while I've seen those films. I'm pretty much going in blind. I'm also cautiously excited about this one. To help support the channel, I have a Patreon page for full reactions, early access, and weekly polls for what to watch next. You'll need your own copy of the film or show to watch along, of course. Please consider being a patron so I can post more than 2 videos a week. Please subscribe to the channel, like the video if you liked it, dislike it if you didn't. With all that being said, let's get started. The Exorcist, Friedkin, let's go. Okay, there's no traditional intro to this film. Just starts after the Warner Brothers logo. There's already eerie music playing, so I think the director is trying to set the tone. That's the Islamic call for prayers. Is this Egypt? I see camels. Oh, it's northern Iraq. Okay. These handheld shots are so raw and authentic. I'm a big fan of them. It is an archaeological site. I like how a lot of horror films start off with a very bright scene, and by the end of the film, it's like completely dark. So that's an assumption I'm making, though. Uh-oh. Looks like something he recognizes. It's almost as if he's being drawn out by all these sounds around him, and he's completely alone. The composition of the shot is pretty good. He's a priest? I assume he's going back to America. The director is taking his time to actually introduce his characters. He still seems extremely disturbed. I really like the fact that it's shot on location, probably, because these are clearly not sets. The props might be props, but they're actually on location, and I really appreciate that. That's a great shot. I think there's some symbolism here I'm not getting. Okay, we're in Georgetown. Something's making noise in the attic. Or it might be coming from outside because her daughter seems to be asleep. So she's an actress because she was looking at a script earlier too. I recognize this music. I don't know where from, but I definitely have heard this before. The director planted a lot of suspicions in the beginning of the film, which he hasn't followed through with yet. She must be a big actress because not everybody gets invited to the White House. Okay, the girl's name is Reagan. The priest seemed a little disturbed from the beginning. Okay, he's home and the TV's on, so he probably lives with someone.
Mama.
You look good.
I don't know what language they were speaking, but it sounded European.
This is my house, and I'm not going no place.
Reminds me of my grandparents. My grandma still lives at the same house. The director is giving him a lot of screen time, so he must be important to the story.
There.
Seems like a playful young girl.
Hey, where'd this come from?
That's a Ouija board.
Oh, yeah? Well, let's both.
Captain Howdy said no.
Who's Captain Howdy?
You know, I make the questions and he does the answers. Captain Howdy, that isn't very
Oh my
nice.
God.
Well, maybe.
The mom thinks
You think?
she's probably just imagining this Dr. Howdy.
Hey,
Like I said, the director is taking his time to establish his characters, and I think he's doing it pretty well. Although I have no idea about what this priest is doing, or the one we saw in Iraq.
What are you doing here?
my bed was shaking. I can't get to sleep.
The director is just not showing us anything yet. It's just noises and exposition so far. He's not even using too much music. I think she's figuring out that probably wasn't a rat that was making these sounds. And I love the contrast from the beginning scene, which was very brightly lit, to this, which is barely lit.
You see, no rats.
No rats. Thanks a lot. That's terrific.
That's just wrong.
Perfectly still, breathe normally.
Oh, They're doing a battery of tests on her.
I don't feel anything.
That's a noticeable change in her behavior. This is definitely odd behavior because she hasn't been acting like this so far, except she mentioned that her bed was shaking and she has an imaginary friend.
Symptoms could be overreaction to depression,
My daughter isn't depressed.
father and the separation.
Yes?
We want to see Mrs. Caras.
Do you have an appointment?
Yes.
Are you a relative?
Yes, I am her brother. He is her son.
Mama, it's Demi, Mama.
Why you did this to me, Demi? Why?
Mama, I'm gonna take you out of here, Mama. Mama, I'm gonna take you home. Couldn't you put us someplace else?
Like what? Private hospital? Who got the money for that, Jimmy? You?
I think we got a guest.
It's Reagan.
You're gonna die up there.
I'm sorry she's been sick.
That was very disturbing. And she's not talking much at all.
You just take your pills and you'll be fine, really.
Even she's recognizing there's something wrong with her. Which means whatever is happening to her hasn't happened fully yet. And it's almost like she's losing control of herself. What the hell? Everything's shaking. And now the mother knows, as in Chris knows, that something is definitely not right. Is he dreaming of this imagery? Because there's no way he could have seen that artifact. Yeah, it's a nightmare probably. But it doesn't make... What did I just watch? It doesn't make sense. So they're taking her into surgery to remove a lesion. And she looks even more pale than the first time we saw her. Oh, that looks real. So it was a brain scan. Oh, they're probably injecting barium or something to see whether there's any blockage of the nerves anywhere. Everything looks fine, okay. Holy shit!
Let's see what
Keep away! The sow is mine!
Fuck me!
Fuck me!
That's not her voice. That's not a female voice at all.
Hold her tight!
What an intense scene. That scene was so well done. I didn't have time to say anything about it. I love the framing of the shot, separating Chris from both of the doctors. They're doing more procedures on her, just trying to figure out if there's anything physically wrong with her. So they're not finding anything physically wrong with her at all. I think the director's done introducing his characters.
Sheriff?
What did I just... And the room is ice cold. I have to commend the camera work and the lighting of the film so far. And the subtle jump scares. They weren't big jump scares, but just enough to catch my attention again.
What's Burke got to do with it?
Burke's dead.
Is she connecting Burke's death to Reagan? Whoa! They're gonna end the scene like that? Holy crap. That was a real jump scare and I actually was freaked out a little bit.
Is there someone inside you?
Sometimes.
And answer me now.
Yeah, that's not her voice. That was amazing practical effects. And I wonder how they did that back in 1973. Oh, that was cool. And scary at the same time. Look at her. She's got cuts all over her face. Her lips are dry. None of the doctors find anything physically wrong with her, so this is the only conclusion they can come to, that it's something psychiatric.
Do you have any religious beliefs?
No. Why?
You ever heard of exorcism? Belief in the power of exorcism can make it disappear.
That sounds logical. The placebo effect. The music really keeps you on the edge. Either unrelenting or there is no music at all. Or any upbeat music at all.
This was under Reagan's pillow. Did you put it there?
I didn't put it.
I love the composition of the shot. The detective can't put everything together. And the zooming out really pushes that point. Great filmmaking so far. It's really keeping me on my toes.
Jesus, fuck you! Jesus, fuck you!
What am I watching? Oh my!
You know what she did?
That's exactly what happened to Burke. I wonder how they did that with practical effects. So she is meeting up with a priest, a psychiatric priest.
How do you go about getting an exorcism?
That was direct. That is incredible acting. I can hear the desperation in her voice. Every time we see her, she's in a worse condition.
You want to loosen the straps.
Oh man, that's a completely different voice. So it's completely taken over her now, and she doesn't identify as Reagan anymore.
Show me Reagan and I'll loosen one of the straps.
You helping all altar boy, Father?
Your mother's in here with his cars. Would you like to leave a message?
Ugh. Okay, that's disgusting. The practical effects are very, very well done so far. Probably except the puke, but the rest of it is just amazing. We've seen this symbol before in the beginning.
Thank you.
The director is opting not to use sounds in these scenes.
I'm telling you that that thing upstairs isn't my daughter.
Did you know my mother died recently?
Yes, I did.
Is Reagan aware of it?
I'm not at all.
Excellent day for an exorcism.
She even looks worse now. Her face is pale white.
Until she rots and lies stinking in the earth. What's that?
Holy water?
It burns!
It's almost like there's multiple voices in her. Okay, these sounds are so disturbing. I feel like Father Damien is pretty convinced because he has his evidence.
I told Reagan that was holy water. I sprinkled it on her and she reacted very violently. It's tap water.
There's still contradictory evidence. Okay.
It's English. It's English in reverse. Listen.
Give us time! Let her die!
That was so well done. I finally realized why the sounds felt so unsettling because it is English, just in reverse. Her skin's turning purple. They did a fantastic job with the makeup. And it says, "Help me."
You would want to do the exorcism yourself.
Yes.
Might be best to have a man of experience. How about Lancaster Marin?
So the Exorcist is finally here. Even her eye color has changed. Why does he look familiar? I've seen that actor before, for sure.
Honored to meet you, Father.
Is that Max von Sydow? I've seen him in recent films, and he was like 90 years or 80 years old. She sounds like dying animals, and I don't know what exactly, but it's really unnerving. Yeah, that is Max von Sydow. I think he's just got old man makeup on, and the makeup is so well done I couldn't even tell all this time. Yeah, I know his voice. It is him. Very well done on the makeup, because I didn't even recognize him in the first scene at all.
Cocksucker!
Be silent!
Heaven, hallowed be thy name. Against me, and men of violence seek my life. Be unto her, O Lord, a fortified tower.
It's not working on her.
Almighty Father,
She's raising the bed.
everlasting God,
She's getting increasingly agitated.
and to redeem through your Son. And
This is so disturbing.
Amen.
O Lord, hear my prayer.
It's levitating, the bed. Fantastic filmmaking.
Almighty Lord,
Great acting by
Father, Jesus Christ,
Father Damien.
God did not put serpents and scorpions
I think we just saw the demon again.
to confront this
Tongue also changed color and shape.
begone you hostile power.
Wow, that's really, really well done. The way she's laughing is just so creepy, and it sounds like she's almost causing it.
You flung the heights of heaven to the depth.
The walls are breaking. The door is cracking.
Who
Here
lives
we
and
go.
reigns with the Father and the Holy Spirit.
Wow. I've seen this scene as a child, and it's 360 degrees. So well done.
God, defender of the human race,
It's not scaring me, but it's making me so uncomfortable.
to depart from the servant of God. Oh,
She's
it's the power of Christ. The power of Christ compels you. Not despise my command because you know me to be a commands you.
Oh man. The scene is just so raw and so well shot. Holy crap. It's that statue we saw.
Let's rest before we start again.
The practical effects in in particular were very well done with the levitating bed and Reagan levitating as well. On the other hand, we are stuck on a shot of Father Damien for over 20 seconds while it's zooming in. It really shows the state of his mind and the state of his faith. Damien does have an enormous amount of guilt for what he did to his mother, sending her to a facility, and she later passes away. I don't like the fact that Marin and Damien got separated because something might just happen. It's her mother! I feel so bad for the little girl. She seemed so cheerful and lively at the beginning of the film. Look at her now. She's not even in control of her body anymore, or her mind.
Dime, why you do this to me?
It's the mother's voice, in her accent.
Not my mother.
Can you give her something?
You're not my mother!
Don't listen.
Why, Dime?
He can't handle it anymore. Wonderful acting by the actor portraying Damien. He just looks defeated. And it's just Father Marin alone. He's going to try to do the exorcism by himself at this point because Father Damien is not in the right mental state for this. I wonder where her mother is, Chris. Oh, there she is. Okay.
Is she gonna die?
No.
Oh, it's the detective. Is he dead? Holy crap, he's dead!
Son of a bitch!
That's Reagan's voice. Oh, no, no, no. I don't know what happened but I assume the demon went into Damien. So the demon went inside Damien and Damien killed himself. But I hear Reagan's voice finally.
Are you sorry for having offended God? If all listen to your past life.
Such a powerful scene. Damn. Okay, this must be another time jump. Yep. Both the priests are dead. It's Damien's friend. The one who gave him his last rites.
She doesn't remember any of it.
That's good.
All done.
Okay. Honey, this is Father
She
Dyer.
looks
Hi, Father.
almost back to normal. And based on her injuries, I could tell it's been at least a couple of months.
I thought you'd like to keep this.
Okay.
How's the girl? Seem fine. Business? Back to work? Father Dyer, you go to film?
Okay, they're forming a friendship. And it also ends with that music and the Islamic call for prayers. I really enjoyed this film. William Friedkin. There were crazy moments. I need to think about it. Okay, so I took some time to collect my thoughts. First off, thank goodness I didn't watch the film when I was a child. This film is clearly meant for adults. That being said, it was a fantastic film. The directing, script, acting, and practical effects were on point. I'm still uncomfortable just thinking what to say about this film. Well, let's start off with the directing. William Friedkin did an absolute stellar job in building his characters and building tension through exposition and indirect storytelling, especially in the first two acts of the film. The film really picks up during the third act, where he finally shows us a fully transformed Reagan. Both the cinematography and the editing were great. The opening landscape shots were very well done, and I like the fact that they shot it on location and not a closed set. The editing was intentionally slow-paced, unlike some other films I've watched in the channel, and it really worked well for this film. The cinematographer framed his shots really well too, especially scenes where characters are talking and there's no music present at all. The editing and the cinematography really kept a decent pace throughout the film. Speaking of the music, this film used its score in a very unique manner. There were almost no music during the demonic scenes, which I feel really amplified the fear and tension. There was music, of course, but it was used very sparingly, which was a smart move from the director. The music used was almost exclusively when no one was talking or during the transition scenes. The writing is where the film really shines, although the film might be great for the casual film watcher. There seems to be a lot of subtext beyond what was being said on screen. The main theme of the writer, I think, was science versus religion. It's somewhat a controversial topic even today. I can imagine the controversy it might have caused when the film was first released in 1973, which is almost 50 years ago. The film was excessively vulgar for the time of release, even for modern times, since we rarely hear the C word used on screen nowadays. Let's talk about the practical effects. I'm really thankful that Friedkin chose not to include almost any special effects and stuck to practical ones. The movement of the furniture, the bed, the head twisting scene, and the levitation weren't particularly well done. So was the makeup. Reagan's look deteriorated as the film went on, and I have to commend the makeup artists for their job since it looked very, very convincing. The makeup on Max von Sydow was also excellent. I almost didn't recognize him at all. Ellen Burstyn played Chris McNeil. She was fantastic in her role as the concerned mother. It's shown that she's not religious and didn't raise her daughter that way too. A huge chunk of the film was the investigation by Chris and the doctors trying to figure out what was wrong with Reagan. Only after she had been told by dozens of doctors that there was nothing wrong with her physically, she finally comes around to the idea of exorcism. I couldn't tell whether she had regained or gained faith in religion by the end of the film. I'd like to think that she does because she saw some supernatural things with her own eyes. Uh, Reagan was played by Linda Blair. For a child actress, she was excellent in her role too. And watching her transformation from an innocent child to a possessed demon was fascinating. I really enjoyed her performance. Father Damien was played by Jason Miller, another solid performance in the film. He was portrayed as a priest on the verge of losing faith and racked by guilt of being unable to help his dying mother due to poverty. All these things were probably the reason why he chose why he was losing his faith. And by the end of the film, his faith had been renewed, and he sacrifices himself to save the girl. His character development was done masterfully, and Jason Miller did an amazing job overall. Uh, the subtleties in his change of expressions is what really sold me the character. I didn't even recognize Sido as Father Merrin. Again, the makeup done on him was very convincing. He was a great actor and a legend in Hollywood with over 7 decades of acting experience. I still don't know how he died in the film, and I wish the director showed it, even though I realize that not showing it and leaving it to the imagination makes it even more powerful. If I had to find something I didn't like about the film, I have to say there isn't much. Maybe the pacing of the first act or the vulgarity the director chose to display, but I'm sure the reason for that is to present some shock value to the audience that a 12-year-old cannot and should not be saying stuff like this. But apart from that, it was a fantastic film to watch. I don't know whether I'll be watching this film anytime soon, though. It just left me very unsettled and uncomfortable. If that was Friedkin's goal, he did an excellent, excellent job. Anyways, thank you for watching. Please consider being a patron, subscribe to the channel. If you liked the video, like it. If you disliked it, dislike it. I'll see you in the next one.